This is Don.
Happy birthday to you.
Hello?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Don. Happy birthday to you.
Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, this makes the discussion even better. Today's my birthday, and I'm 88 years old. That's getting on up there, isn't it?
Well, no, not yet. No, you're still in your teen years. I can hear it in your voice.
Oh yeah. I already went out and walked 2 miles this morning, so maybe that's why I'm doing well at this age. So how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm glad you brought up that subject of walking because I too am a big walker. I think that's where creativity is given to those of us who really like to put words on a page, and we get it from walking.
I agree 100%. I have never not done that. When I was playing basketball as a teenager, and all of my life after I got so old I couldn't play full court, and that was in my late 40s, I just started walking, and I've been doing it ever since. And I think that is one of the reasons I'm in good health. I know a lot of it is genetics, but still, you got to take care of yourself, don't you?
You're so right about that. So why did it take so long to become an author then? I mean, we're talking about 8 decades it took you.
That's right. Actually, I wrote when I was in the Air Force, I was stationed at the Panama Canal. That was in 56 through 58. And I wrote a gossip column for the base newspaper. Yeah. But that was all of the creative writing I did until I was 80. And since I turned 80, I wrote 4 books. But I did write a lot. I wrote research papers. I'm a bacteriologist and chemist, and I wrote a lot of research papers and even a few technical papers published in journals, but no creative writing until I turned 80. And then I sort of missed writing, and I said, I'll try it on science fiction, political fiction. And so I love it. I work on it just about every day.
Well, see, I'm a daily writer, and I've been doing that for 30 years, so I totally get it.
I know. I looked at your webpage and all that stuff, and the things that you had written, and I could see that you wrote a pretty good variety. Mine is nearly all, I would say, science fiction, laced with some political intrigue. Yeah. I got sort of a standard that I write.
Wow. See, I cheated the system is what I did, Don, is that I went to Barnes & Noble, and there's a book in there that lists all these different publishers and what they're looking for. So I said, well, okay, I'm going to write a book about that because they're looking for it. They said they'll publish it. And I thought, wow, why did I do that? Because my first 2 books out there had nothing to do with the way that I really write.
Mm-hmm. You know, I see people writing series, and people, if they pick up on the first one, then they sell that. They're able to sell the next series. And I never thought like that. To me, when I end one, I ended, and this last one, By Means of Peace, nearly everybody that read it said, "Well, you need to come out with something else. Continue that." I never even thought about it. I'd already started another book. I had. So when I finished, and go to the next one.
Dude, when I was in the 11th grade, I wanted to drop out because I was injured because of hockey. And my teacher said, please come back to school. I'll let you write because I know you love to write. And it took me 32 years to finally publish that book. But that's how important it is to write. Just get it out.
That is amazing. And, I'm comfortably retired now, and I can do this. And I'd like to be on the New York Times bestseller and all that kind of thing, but I'm not really in it this time for the money. As I say, I'm comfortably retired. And so I'm just wanting to get my book out there and let people read it. In fact, I've set up the first 5 days of October, my new book is going to be free on Amazon. I've set it up already. So By Means of Peace, I hope everybody that's listening to your podcast, and I know that's lots of people, I hope they all get the free book. I won't make any money, but they might have fun. Hey, wow. I'll give them a money back guarantee. It won't cost them anything.
Well, I got to ask you a question about this book, By Means of Peace, because, you really put the world in a place. It takes place in 2148, but, man, you talk about a divided conspiracy-generated nation that, and even our freedom of speech is in trouble. You don't hold back on this book, dude.
I don't hold back at all. And let me tell you how I started this. I started it at the midterm elections, and I noticed how divided the nation was. Mm-hmm. And I said, everybody's going to vote party lines no matter who the candidate is. And so then I started throwing around words like groupthink and that type of thing. So that's a major parallel between By Means of Peace and the current election is that we both that book and the real world occur in a divided America. So I don't, you know, hey, I tiptoed a little though, Arrow. I incriminated both Democrats and Republicans. So I don't want anyone. I didn't want any one side to get mad at me, you know.
Oh, I can relate with that. Oh my God, being a radio person, it's like, you know, I'm gonna walk that white picket fence is what I'm gonna do. I mean, I remember when I first came down to the Carolinas, I was calling it Tar Heel Blue Skies, and man, the people at Duke University were upset with me. I mean, you can't take a side.
No, you have to be careful. One side will get mad at you and blacklist you. Well, maybe worse. So, and I always come through with a third party. In this case, he rises to the position of world dictator. At first, he gets in there, you know, and just solves all the problems, and that's where I got the title "By Means of Peace." That's actually a phrase out of the book of Daniel that some ruler comes into power, and it says, "By means of peace, he will destroy many." That's the whole phrase, and so that's really the outline of my book. When one sentence there, it's not, you know, not a religious book, but I really like that phrase because after he had solved problems and brought peace, then he elevates himself to king of the world, a world dictator. Ooh. And a lot of people still follow him, but people are beginning to think that, hey, this guy's creating these problems so he can control us.
Yep,
and so that's the whole thing. I like these conspiracy theories. I'm a conspiracy theorist light. I've got friends that everything in the world to them is a conspiracy theory. Well, I'm not quite that heavily into it.
What I always tell people is, okay, I don't want to start a conspiracy theory, but I want to break it down. That's what I tell them. I say, I want to break it down. This is what I'm thinking. We're just breaking it down.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You're not necessarily believing it, but you're still thinking about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. With the book taking place in 2148, I know that in my book, Halloween 78, I had to speak of the future in this book. How do you go all these years into the future and kind of, not only do you have to visualize it, but as readers, we have to experience it. How do you do that?
Yeah, with 2148, I looked again, and I might have not advanced it as much as I should have. They're self-driving cars, and nearly everybody uses public transportation, which I believe we will be then. And the cash is not used. Everybody, I didn't mention crypto or anything like that, but everybody's paying bills by the thumbprint on the phone and that sort of stuff. And I have food is still pretty standard. I wish I'd have done something different there because in my new book, I'm having them grow the food in picture cultures and print out the steaks on 3D printers. I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd done that in By Means of Peace, but I didn't. I didn't get the food quite like I'd like to.
So in 2148, will we still be waiting in long lines at Chick-fil-A?
I tell you what, I dug by Chick-fil-A the other night at 9 o'clock to get an ice cream cone. 9 o'clock, and I had to wait. So I don't know how they can speed that up. They moved across the street here in my location and got a bigger place. They still can't keep the lines moving fast enough. I think that may never change.
When I grew up, I feared the year 1984. And then when 1984 happened, then things were a little bit different. It didn't go as the book said. But don't you think that a book like By Means of Peace, with you putting that date on there, 2148, what about the people of 2057 that pick this book up and go, oh my God, Don, he's a prophet. He saw something, and we've got to prepare for this.
I was just like you about that 1984. That is one of my favorite dystopian novels. Well, it is my favorite. It is a true masterpiece. I didn't want mine to end as sad as that, so I sort of left it hanging, let the reader conjure up his own ending. But I've read 1984 and Brave New World several times, as a matter of fact, and they both end sadly. And I may be looking through life with rose-colored glasses, but I didn't want to end it quite that way. I left the young couple there at the end where they'll have to figure out what they're going to do.
When you do come up with the ending of a book, how many times did you change that ending? Because I've done that many times where I go, I'm feeling it, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not sure they're going to understand it.
You know, I almost never change the ending, and this is interesting to talk to someone directly that's written several books as you have. I always know where I want to start and essentially where I'm going to end. It might have a slight change, but essentially, but I don't outline every chapter. I've read that authors said they outlined every chapter before they did it. To me, that limits your characters. I like to create the character. I try to create the characters and turn them loose. You know, that's what I want to do, and let them solve the problem. But my ending is not set in concrete. But I in each of the 3 novels I wrote, I knew approximately how it would end.
Did you handwrite it out? Because I'm very addicted to what I do, Don. Is I go and I buy a new Mont Blanc pen. And then I will use that Mont Blanc pen only to write out what the book is going to be. And when the book is finished, I put that writing instrument away and I never use it again.
That's a good. No, I do mine on a Word document. I started out when I first started. I got me long legal pads, you know, and started writing. And I've seen a lot of authors, particularly from my day, that is the way they did it. But I'm so used to you doing it on Word. I know people that dictate it, but I can't dictate it worth anything. When I start trying to dictate it to my computer, I just have to rewrite it. So I guess you get set in your ways a certain way of doing it, and that seems to work. But I was thinking about trying to dictate some more, and I tried the other day, and I said, well, this is terrible writing. Look like a complete amateur. You know
who one of the very first dictators were when it comes to writing? It was Mr. Mark Twain, and he would dictate and then give it to his secretary.
You know what? That's amazing. I'll tell you what, that guy was a brilliant writer, and in some states they banned some of his books. Yeah. But he's a brilliant writer. I've read them all and really enjoyed them.
Let's put the subject on that. Okay, authors whose books have been banned. We're going through that right now. When you talk about 2148 and the dictator inside that storyline, what happens if people like you and I, who are storytellers, what happens when they step into our world and shut us off? Because I fear that when it comes to podcasting, that it's like how many steps away am I from being shut down?
You do wonder that. Here's the thing, Arrow, there's going to always be groups of people try to ban or censor others while they're claiming freedom of speech for themselves. Yeah. Now, that's the part I get excited about. And I like what Philip K. Dick, my favorite author, science fiction author, and he said, if you can, and now you get down to controlling individual words, and he said, if you can control words, then you can control the people that must use those words. I said, that's a pretty bright statement. I don't know. I worry about that, but I don't know what to do about it.
Hey, is it okay to say that it's still coming? You got plenty of time to still learn it.
Yeah. I feel like I've said I was going to write a book every 2 years. And I've gotten 4 since I was 80, so I'm on target. And I got another year. I'm writing one about artificial intelligence now. Ooh. It's similar to this one in that it's the government. They are setting up an artificial intelligence community, and they claim that that's how they will help govern the nation and can, really do it better. But mainly they're setting it up to control the people. So I guess there's a conspiracy theory I can't help but throw out.
See how you are, Don? I mean, you put subjects out there that we all can relate with, and then here comes the fear of God. It's like, oh my God, what did Don write? What did Don write about AI technology? Oh my God, he must have done the research. Oh my God.
Yeah. I've got about 20,000 words on this one, and that's roughly maybe a fourth finished. But all of my friends around close wanted me, to write, do a series on what this last one was. But like we said before, just didn't feel like doing that.
Yeah. What is your writing discipline? Because the first thing that I do every morning, nothing happens until I write.
I need to get back to that. I got kind of off of it. There's several things going on new but I do that. That is what I want to do. And I only write like I'm going to say 3 hours, because, hey, at my age, I got to save my eyes to watch the Astros. I'm trying to sweat them through on the Major League Baseball. So I watch every one of those games. But I am not a fast writer.
Yeah.
I am very slow, and I only if I work 3 hours, I'll only produce a couple of hundred words.
Yeah, because my writing comes in spurts. You would look at the writing and think, oh my God, he spent all this time writing. No, it came out. I may have taken 2 minutes to write this, and then I come back 25 minutes later to continue it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a little bit that way too, and a few things really went fast. In my book called The Alamogordo Connection, they went on some kind of river trip in the jungles of Panama, and I had done exactly the same thing. So all I had to do is change the names, and that's easy writing. But then when I have to construct something completely new, that's a little more difficult. And every one of mine, I have some people in the labs, and of course I was in a lab most of my life, so that is pretty easy, although the things that I put was a little different from what I was doing, but still it fit what I like to do.
Wow. Where can people go to find out about all 4 of your books and to really get into your vibe?
I think Amazon is still the best place. They can go get the hardback at Barnes and Noble if they wanted to, but they'd have to order it probably, and on Ingram Spark. And this is one thing that I haven't done well, Arrow. I realize you have to publicize your own book, and I haven't done that as well. I am satisfied with my writing. This last book, I entered it in about 10 book contests.
Yeah.
I won a prize. I won 2 golds, 2 silvers, and like an honorable mention. So I'm well satisfied with my writing. I just don't know how to promote it very well. But Amazon controls so much of the market, particularly the ebooks. That's where I would tell them to go. And as I said, I'm giving it away free. I want everybody that's listening to. From October the 1st to the 5th, they can get the ebook for free on Amazon. So no risk at all there.
Well, don't be worried about that marketing thing with your books. And the reason why is because I talk with musicians and actors every single day, and we all talk about that thing. We talk about what are we going to do to get it out there? How can we just get it on someone's list? And you got to start the conversation is what you got to do. And you being on this show, we've started the conversation, Don.
I know. I think you and I think a lot alike. Hey, except one thing. I have a terrible accent, and you have a Midwestern accent.
I do. I'm from Montana, but I live here in the South. I have fought like hell to make sure that I don't get that damn Southern accent, but I can slip into it real easy, though.
Well, Montana, like Johnny Carson, Nebraska, those are great no accents is what that is. And when I was gone from home in the Air Force, I was stationed at the Panama Canal. I lost my accent in 3 years, and when I came back to East Texas, I got it back in 2 weeks. I can't get rid of it.
Don, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future. I love where your heart is.
I really enjoyed talking to you, Aaron, and I appreciate very much you having me on the show. It's fun.
Yeah, well, come back anytime. The door is always open for you.
All right. I appreciate that very much. And again, thank you very much.
Hey, so now you said you're from Texas, right?
Yes, I'm from East Texas, up in where we call the Piney Woods, the edge of the Piney Woods.
Yeah. Now, do you do what we do here in Carolina? Do you say, y'all come back?
Yes, that is exactly. I thought we invented that slang.
People up north don't know what we're talking about. Or bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Yes, that's another one. That's another. I thought we invented that in East Texas too, but I guess not.
No. Well, y'all come back, all right, Don?
All right, I will. I enjoyed it very much.
All right, bye, guys.
Thank you.